Never Say Die is the name of the game today, as in today's video, we are going to be going over the top 7 biggest NBA playoff comebacks. In the 75 years of the NBA, we have seen some improbable comebacks, and it is time that we celebrate the winners and shame the losers. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 7. 2022 Western Conference First Round, Memphis Grizzlies vs. Minnesota Timberwolves. Kicking off our list is a very recent playoff battle in the most recent Western Conference First Round. The Grizzlies were facing off against the T-Wolves in Game 3 with the series tied at 1 apiece. After the first quarter, the Timberwolves found themselves up by 26 points and things were looking ugly for the Grizzlies. However, the Grizzlies did make a valiant comeback during the second and third quarters, cutting the large deficit down to just 7 points, but that did not last long, as the Timberwolves quickly regained their massive lead, taking a 73-50 lead into the fourth quarter. It seemed as if all hope had perished for the Grizzlies, but then for some reason, J.A. Morant decided to wake up. Not only did he wake up, but he and the Grizzlies practically arose from the dead and looked like a team possessed for the fourth quarter as they went on a 21-0 run. The Wolves stood by helplessly and almost seemed stunned as they went on to lose the lead and lose the game. The Grizzlies took a 2-1 series lead and took that momentum and spun it into a 4-2 series win to move on to the second round of the Western Conference. Morant single-handedly took this team and threw it on his back and scored the first playoff triple-double in franchise history for the Grizzlies. Of course, the Grizzlies won the first round, however, they went on to lose to the eventual NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors. Number 6. 2021 Eastern Conference Semifinals, Atlanta Hawks vs. Philadelphia 76ers. The 2021 playoffs were just as crazy as any other year, but this game most likely takes the cake as one of the most insane comebacks in NBA history. The 76ers were up by 26 points in the third quarter, and it seemed like a total blowout. The Sixers had the second highest ranked defense in the entire league, and they had a 26-point cushion with less than half of the game left. But that didn't seem to be big enough hurdle to stop Trae Young and the Hawks. The Hawks proceeded to take control in the third quarter, and they never looked back. The squad shot over 60% from the field, and Trae Young decided that he had to disintegrate the lead single-handedly as he popped off for 25 points and 6 assists, helping his team close the gap and take a lead of their own as they racked up 69 total points in a quarter and a half. The Hawks went on to win the game by a score of 109-106, and the momentum of their win allowed the Hawks to go on and win the series in Game 7 to punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. Of course, despite this amazing performance from the Hawks and Trae Young in particular, the Hawks ended up losing to the eventual NBA champions in 2021, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 5. 2017 Eastern Conference First Round, Cleveland Cavaliers vs. Indiana Pacers. The 2017 playoffs were ones to remember without a doubt, but this is a game that every Pacers fan would likely want to forget. The Pacers were down 2-0 going into Game 3, and they were looking to have a statement game to get themselves back into the series. The Pacers came out firing on all cylinders, and they racked up 74 points by halftime, which was a franchise record for the most points scored in a single half. The score going into the third quarter was 74-49 for the Pacers, and it looked like this series was going to be 2-1 going to Game 4. But of course, you know what this video was all about, so you most likely see where this is going. LeBron James and the Cavs did not want this series to go the distance, so they decided to take the games into their own hands and keep themselves in full control of the series. LeBron scored a triple-double and went on to have a total of 41 points in the game, with 28 of his points being scored in the second half. The Pacers did their best to stay in the game, and if it were not for their 26-point cushion going into the second half, the Pacers would have been decimated worse than they actually were. The Cavs outscored the Pacers 70-40 in the second half, including a three-pointer scored within the last minute of the game to seal the deal and collapse the Pacers' hopes of winning the game and staying in the series. The Cavs won the game 111-107 to take a 3-0 series lead, which led to them sweeping the Pacers in the very next game to advance to the next round of the playoffs. The Cavs, of course, went on to lose in the NBA Finals to the stacked Golden State Warriors that season, where they lost in 5 games. Number 4. 2002 Eastern Conference Finals, Boston Celtics vs. New Jersey Nets. Back in 2002, this was the biggest NBA fourth quarter comeback to date and was one of the most insane games of all time. The Celtics were outsourced in the first 3 quarters of the game, and it looked like this game was too far gone for the Celtics. The Nets took a 74-53 lead going into the final quarter of the game, and unless the Celtics found a way to turn around their game quickly, this game was going to go down in smoke. But of course, the Celtics' big guns decided to load up and unload on the Nets as they outscored them 41-16 in the fourth and final quarter. Paul Pierce, who had spent the entire game shooting 15%, decided to shoot almost 50% as he scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. Moreover, Anthony Walker added a huge 23 points of his own to put the Celtics in the lead. The Celtics pulled off one of the craziest comebacks of all time and won the game, which kept them alive in the series. They celebrated like they had just won the series, but of course they hadn't. The Celtics only staved off the inevitable as the Nets won the series by taking the next 3 games in a row, which got them into the finals. The Nets went on to win the NBA championship that season, which makes this comeback a little less of a big deal, but it is still one of the craziest comebacks of all time. Number 3. 2012 Western Conference Finals, LA Clippers vs. Memphis Grizzlies. The Clippers are certainly no strangers to dramatic comeback wins, but this one was probably their most insane. The Clippers found themselves down by 20 points when the first quarter came to an end, and the Grizzlies didn't stop there. The Grizzlies laid on the offense and eventually got themselves to a 27-point lead late in the third quarter. The Clippers were pretty much out of the game, and the Grizzlies had a firm grip on this game, but of course, that's how comebacks happen. One team has a hold on the game until they don't. The Clippers found a way to get the lead down to only 21 points going into the fourth quarter, and it seems like that momentum was enough to get them to turn their game around and put up an insane performance. The Clippers went on a 28-3 run and shot an impressive 76.5% as a team to tie the game up late. The Clippers got a lucky break when the Grizzlies fouled Chris Paul, sending him to the line with the score being 98-97 for the Grizzlies. Paul nailed both free throws to put the Clippers on top 99-98 with only 23 seconds left. The Clippers found a way to stave off the vicious offensive laid on by the Grizzlies to take the win and eventually the series. The Clippers went on to face the Spurs and got swept in 4 straight. Number 2. 1989 Western Conference Semifinals, Seattle SuperSonics vs. LA Lakers. The second largest comeback in NBA playoff history came a long time ago, and it was one of the strangest playoff games ever. The Sonics found a way to have a humongous lead by the end of the first quarter, and somehow found a way to be eliminated from the NBA playoffs come the end of the game. The Sonics had a demoralizing 29-point lead just 14 minutes into the game, and had held the stacked Lakers to just 4 for 20 from the field. It looked as though this game was over until halftime, until Magic Johnson famously told the squad to just cut it to 15. Well, the Lakers took that speech to heart and decided that they were going to fully take this game back and take the series if it killed them. The Lakers went on to a 16-0 run in the third quarter to cut the lead to just 11 points, and then they took another huge run, going on an 18-6 run in the last 6 minutes of the game. The Lakers took the lead and never looked back, winning the game by a score of 97-95 and taking the series in 4 straight. Unfortunately, the Lakers went on to lose the NBA championship in a sweep by the Detroit Pistons. Number 1. 2019 Western Conference First Round, LA Clippers vs. Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have been one of the best teams to ever step on an NBA court in 75 years of the NBA being in existence. However, in this game in 2019, things did not go their way. The Warriors were up by 31 points at the end of the third quarter, and the game seemed all but lost for the Clippers. But the Clippers came back and decided that they were destined to win this game. The Clippers scored an insane 85 points in the second half and stole the lead right out from under the Warriors, with a few Clippers having the game of their lives. Montrezl Harrell shot 9 for 9 and put up a double-double. Moreover, Lou Williams scored 36 points and 11 assists for a double-double of his own to lead the Clippers to a 135-131 win over the Warriors. Of course, it didn't matter much for the Clippers as they still lost to the Warriors, who went all the way to the NBA Finals, but they lost to the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals in 6 games. That's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the content. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your family and your friends. And we will see you all in the next video.